Same thing gonna happen with Spence. They're gonna figure out some type of excuse why Terence Crawford was successful in the Canelo Alvarez fight.
I'm different. I'm an elite fighter. So that's the difference. Big difference.
But after fighters fight me, they ain't never the same. So I just hope your career continue.
If you look at my career, it's never the same after me.
Terence Crawford just fired a chilling warning at Canelo Alvarez, saying he'll dominate the Mexican icon just like he dismantled Errol Spence Jr. Crawford. Isn't just talking tough, he's already thinking about how Canelo might be preparing. For their clash, he urged Canelo not to underestimate him, despite the hype suggesting Canelo has the upper hand due to his long reign in the sport. Crawford believes Canelo feels so experienced that he thinks nothing can surprise him anymore.
I don't know. I just think, sometimes some fighters, they fight to their level of competition. And, I think he's definitely more experienced, with more well-rounded, given the experience that he had in a Floyd Mayweather fight. So we shall see.
Yeah.
No, he just seen a lot of fighters. He's been through the boxing game for a long time. He got a lot of experience, and in his heart and soul, he feel that I'm not gonna show him nothing new that he haven't seen before. No, not at all. He didn't fought southpaws. He didn't fought orthodox fighters. So, he's been in the ring with a lot of fighters, and in his mind, he don't see nothing new that I could.
Crawford went even deeper, calling the upcoming bout a showdown between legends. He promised fans something unforgettable on September 13th, and while many are focused on his power, Crawford insists it'll be his skills and sharp boxing mind that steal the spotlight when the lights go down and the punches fly.
I'm a legend too, so we got two legends fighting each other, and I'm definitely daring to be great, and I'm going to be great September 13th. I'm not taking no credit away from Canelo's skills. A lot of people, they only talk about his power, but he's very skillful in there, and he's respected.
Not one to stay silent, Canelo hit back hard. He told the media he hopes Crawford is getting a big payday because he won't be the same after their fight. For Canelo, this isn't just about cash. This is about making a statement and leaving a permanent mark on Crawford's career.
We're gonna find out.
And don't get me wrong, you're a great fighter.
I know I'm great.
You're a great fighter, but are you gonna find out? I hope your uncle Turki Alashi pay you enough money, because it's gonna be the last. That's for sure.
It may be. Maybe.
I hope he pay you enough.
But after fighters fight me, they ain't never the same. So I just hope your career continue.
If you look at my career, it's never the same after me.
Still, Crawford isn't losing sleep over the noise. He spoke openly about how fans and critics will probably downplay his win if he beats Canelo. Just like after the Spence fight, he expects excuses to fly. But Crawford's not fazed. He sees it as part of the sport and is more than ready to silence the doubters again.
They're gonna make excuses. The same thing happened with Spence.
Same thing gonna happen with Spence. They're gonna figure out some type of excuse why Terence Crawford was successful in the Canelo Alvarez fight.
You gonna retire if you win this fight, or you're gonna keep going?
I don't know. We shall see.
It is what it is. I got the style, I got the skills, I got the heart, and I'm not gonna sit around.
Tensions exploded when Canelo suddenly shoved Crawford during their face-off, turning the atmosphere electric and nearly sparking a full-on brawl. Security had to jump in fast to stop things from getting out of hand. Meanwhile, Canelo fans erupted, shouting Mexico in support, waving their fists in pride. After things calmed down, Canelo shared how that shove fired him up even more. He made it clear he's going all in on September 13th. For him, the fight is personal now, and he's eager to bring the smoke once that first bell rings.
I've been in this sport like so many years. I had so many good fights in my career, and I had the experience to adapt myself to these kind of fighters. I fight everybody out there, every style, and I'm gonna do my job and put all my experience, all my talent there, and that's it. I'm different. I'm a lead fighter, so that's the difference. I'm turning on right now.
Right? Yeah. Did it make you want to go harder for the 13?
I don't know. But made me feel more excited.
Love it.
I'm gonna train so far.
Commentator Sean Zittle chimed in afterward, saying the shove looked a little too perfect, maybe even staged. He suggested it might have been just what promoters wanted, a dramatic boost to get fans buzzing and crank up the energy heading into what's already a monster fight.
No. That's not... There's 30 security guards.
It feels a little contrived.
You think so?
I think a lot of people feel it's a little like...
Well, I'm glad you used the big word that most of us don't know.
Sir, New York, that's a weak-ass push by Canelo. And, that is not... Canelo, what he did with Caleb Plant, that was real. He slipped him and then slapped him. And that was like, okay. This felt like, hey, social media saying you guys are being too friendly. We're paying you all this money. We're putting a knockout bonus there. Come on, we got a fight to sell. Let's heat this up a little bit. Obviously, they're both great fighters, and they're both coming to win. But I don't want to get too deep into it today. But my thoughts on the big picture, like what's looming, the fight to me, because I'm the journalist, right? Is an after.
Adding to that moment, another voice gave their take on the shove, pointing out how the energy felt different this time, mainly because of how fast everyone jumped in to stop it. He compared the scene to a tennis match, with Canelo and Crawford, stepping up, staring each other down, and raising the intensity every time. All of it building toward what's sure to be a fiery collision once the bell rings.
Watch Terence. Terence is not stopping here. He's walking straight up to him, way past Dana. Here's halfway. He's like, nah, I'm meeting you at your front door. And he's backing him up. Oh, and then there's the shove. Look at Bomac. Look at Bomac. Oh, shit, we got everybody getting in there. Reynoso, security, Michael Buffer. It's a game of tennis. It's a game of back and forth, because this time Canelo walks up on Terence. Like, yeah, okay, you got that one off. Watch this. Now I'm going to push you back a little bit. Yeah, see, I'm going to push you back just a little.
Reflecting on Crawford's past fights, Sean Porter recalled the night Bud faced Errol Spence. Porter remembered overhearing Crawford's corner admit that their fighter wasn't even sticking to the original game plan. Later, Crawford confirmed he was so hyped up, he fought entirely on emotion. To Porter, it proved just how dangerous Crawford is when he's running on instinct and hunger alone.
On my way out of the room, I was talking to his cousin, a couple other people, and I think it might have been Shakur, but somebody said, yo, he didn't even have a game plan. I said, what? He said he didn't have a game plan. He was asking us what he should do before the fight.
Shakur specifically, right?
So I think it was Shakur that said that. Yeah. So then I talked to Crawford after the fight, and I know I talked to him on the podcast about this specifically, but then I talked to him afterwards, and I said, stop saying you didn't have a game plan. You had a game plan. He said, look, Sean, we had a game plan, but in the locker room before the fight, I just was fired up. And he said he had, even walking out to the ring, he had it like, just so much energy, passion, dog. He wanted to go right after her, So using that story again to relate to everyone, you're right. That dog is going to be there. And he understands that he has to be.
Backing Crawford, British boxer Denzel Bentley admitted he wasn't a believer at first. He thought Crawford had no business jumping up in weight to fight Canelo. But as fight night got closer, Bentley's faith started to shift. Now, he thinks Crawford could pull off the upset, especially since, in his eyes, Canelo hasn't looked like his best self in a long time, which makes this fight even juicier.
Oh man, at first I didn't like it. I was like, come on, don't do it, don't go up there, don't do it. But I just got closer. I'm believing in Crawford, man. I mean, I think he can pull it off. You haven't really seen the best of Canelo in years. I think his best days were at 160. When I think of it, that Danny Jacobs fight, that's probably the best performance I've seen Canelo in all these fights. I know he's had so many fights, we have better performance, but in recent times, just the lateral movement, the elusiveness, the way he lets his shots go, the just effortless kind of movement and flowing of punches. He hasn't been that since then. Since he moved to one.
Bentley doubled down, taking aim at Canelo's recent form. He described him as a giant, hoping to land one big punch, but no longer the slick technician he used to be. Bentley said Canelo's slower pace and lack of punch variety have become clear weaknesses, and that could open the door for someone like Crawford to take full advantage when the two finally clash in the ring.
Just a powerhouse. He's slow with his feet, throws less punches than we've seen before. He's always looking for a big shot. Hardly sets anything up anymore. It's just his whole style has just changed, and it's worked for him because a lot of fighters go in there with that fear factor, like, oh my days, it's Canelo. Or he will wear you down at some point because he's so physical and strong, or when he hits you, you kind of don't want to know because he hits so hard. But I don't think Crawford's going to go in with that mindset. I think whatever Canelo brings, he's going to be able to match. He's got better feet. Even though at 154 his feet didn't look the best, but Majimov is a good mover. But he's got better feet, he can fight both ways, and I think he'll use more of his arsenal than what Canelo would use. So I think he would find it easier. So I think Crawford can.
Tim Bradley agreed, saying if Canelo couldn't take down Jermall Charlo, then there's no way he beats Crawford. For Bradley, it's a no-brainer, he'd take Bud over Canelo any day. He believes Crawford's precision, timing, and slick movement will be too much for Canelo, no matter how strong or experienced the Mexican legend might be.
Canelo couldn't knock out Charlo. Or you really think he's gonna knock out Crawford? I would pick Terence Crawford to beat a Canelo Alvarez, even at 168. Everybody can call me crazy and whatever you want to say. I get it. Y'all didn't believe me when I told you about Spence, but trust me, Crawford will figure out a way. I know a secret y'all don't know, and I ain't gonna tell you why I would pick Terence Crawford, but it's part of the secret.
Canelo couldn't stop Charlo, so do people really think he's going to knock out Crawford? I'm picking Terence Crawford to beat Canelo Alvarez, even at 168. Say I'm crazy, I don't care. Y'all doubted me when I said Spence would fall, too, but Crawford, he'll figure it out. And yeah, I got a secret reason I believe he wins. I'm not sharing it, but trust me, it's real.
While the press conference was ending, I was already scripting this reaction video to talk about how His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh has won the press conference. Until the bitter end, the face-off. And not just the face-off, the end. Can you please look at the end when Terence Bud Crawford made his face?
Once in a lifetime, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Terence Bud Crawford, Arabia.
The fight is over. See, I've seen that face before. I saw that shit on Rocky 3 when Rocky Balboa was staring down Clubber Lang. Forget that. I saw that face when Rocky Balboa was in the pool and Apollo Creed said, one more lap.
Once in a lifetime, ladies and gentlemen.
That face is called the holy shit face. He stared down Canelo, and for the first time, he saw someone as great as himself. For the first time, he saw it.
On the flip side, Showbiz, the adult, dropped his opinion, saying the fight was already decided the moment they faced off. He claimed Crawford's body language told the whole story. When he looked at Canelo, he saw something he hadn't seen before, a level beyond what he's used to, according to Showbiz. Those small reactions hinted Crawford might already be mentally behind before a single punch is even thrown.
I truly believe, that, anything can happen in boxing, you know what I'm saying? And Terence Crawford is a legend. He's great. He's a great fighter. The only thing I see that I favor Canelo is that is his weight.
Yeah.
And that he's more bigger. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. But as far as skill set wise, IQ, I feel like Crawford can match anybody and probably do way better. You know what I'm saying? But Crawford is a legend, bro.
Yeah.
And like I said, you can't.
Edgar Berlanga offered a level-headed take, reminding everyone that anything can happen once the bell rings. While he slightly favors Canelo due to the natural size and weight advantage, Berlanga didn't write off Crawford at all. He emphasized that Crawford's technical skill is elite, good enough to go toe-to-toe with anyone, making this matchup anything but predictable and full of real suspense when they meet.
Canelo has shown in his last few fights that he's just a businessman. He's not in there to entertain the public. He just takes the big check. But again, if Canelo really fights, because I think safe to say Terence always fights. He doesn't know anything else. So then it could be a very good, interesting.
Meanwhile, Bob Arum didn't hold back in his criticism of Canelo's current approach to boxing. Arum believes Canelo doesn't fight with the same hunger to thrill fans anymore, instead chasing paydays above all. From a veteran promoter's perspective, that shift in focus could be costly, especially when stepping into the ring with someone as fired up and determined as Terence Crawford. At the same time, Arum acknowledged the danger Crawford brings. He said how this fight plays out depends on which version of Canelo shows up, the warrior who fought for pride or the paycheck hunter just clocking in. The Canelo from recent years, Arum argued, has been dull and lacking fire. Crawford's coach, Biomac, weighed in too, saying styles make fights. And in his view, Crawford holds the advantage. Biomac praised Crawford's sharper skills, smarter strategy, and mental edge. Confident in his fighter's training, he promised Bud will get the job done. Skills pay the bills. Biomac said, it's not just about offense, defense matters too. That's why styles matter. He added that Crawford doesn't need raw power to hurt Canelo. It's about outboxing him. If Canelo slips up, Bud will make him pay.
You never fought at 168. You think you have enough power to hurt the great Canelo?
Of course. I don't have to have enough power to hurt him. I just got to beat him. That's it. If he slip up, then, he will get...
Even Canelo admitted he never expected to share the ring with Crawford because of the huge weight gap that once made the matchup seem impossible. But this is boxing. He said anything can happen. Now that it's official, Canelo said he's counting down the days until he steps into the ring for what could be one of the sport's most historic battles.
Never thinking about the fight Crawford. I never in my life, because he's a low weight than me. So, but I never thinking about it. But that's the fun part of boxing. You never know what is gonna happen, right? And now we are here. And I'm glad to share the ring with one of the best fighters out there, and I'm just can't wait.
In American or Spanish?
I'm gonna win.
Spanish first.
¿Ah?
In Spanish first.
Voy a ganar.
¿Ganar?
Voy a ganar. Esa es la idea, ganar. That's the idea. Always in my mind doesn't exist a loss. I train, I put my best, I dedicate myself to this sport, and I'm just thinking about win, to make history, and this is not...
With the countdown to September 13th underway, one thing's for sure, Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez is shaping up to be much more than just another fight. When that final bell rings, there won't be room for excuses. This is Legacy, on the line. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit the like button, subscribe for more fight updates, and drop your predictions in the comments below.